Alright, everybody, welcome to Tay and Talk. I'm Tay, and I'm here with Nin. This week's episode, we actually are running on a real schedule. We got it Friday nights, 7:30. Hopefully you remember. Alright, so Nin, what are we talking about this week?
We're going to do top 10 one-liners, and then we're going to do a Stranger Things review.
Yep, we actually just finished Stranger Things last night. If you don't know what it is, it's a new show on Netflix. So we're going to be reviewing that after we give our top 10 one-liners. And then, am I right in assuming that you're going to have a few Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liners on your list?
There might be an Arnold appearance.
An Arnold appearance? Alright, so I think this week we're not going to punt, because Nin's actually going to play the one-liner when he has his picks. I'm not that fancy. I didn't save my one-liners to play. So, Nin... Do you want me to go first?
I started last time, so
okay.
You start.
All right, I'll go first. Oh yeah, and I just want to give everybody a heads up. My list, I kind of jotted this down right away, like a few minutes ago almost. I was getting everything set up with our network, and I did not have time to make a really good list. But Nin says he's confident in his list.
You're so unprofessional.
I know, so unprofessional. All right, so let's see. My number 10 is actually an Arnold one. It's I'll Be Back.
Okay. I'll be back. Wait, from which movie?
From the original, Terminator 1. Now, you might be thinking, I'll Be Back. Oh, that's a sucky pick. I've heard I'll Be Back about 100,000 times. And you'd actually be right. I'll Be Back is one of the most overused one-liners of all time. But the reason that is because it was so good originally. It didn't make, and what was cool about it was it didn't make sense until you actually realized what he meant. When he actually came back and destroyed the police station, that's what made it cool. So, and I just love the way he says it. Arnold's voice really knows how to deliver a one-liner. It was just hilarious. And then it's like, I'll be back. I wonder what he means by that. And then when you see the police car fly through the door, you start LOLing.
Yeah, it almost seems like it should have been a deleted scene, because it's like a humorous scene starring the Terminator. So
yeah.
It doesn't really fit, but it's just so funny that they had to keep it in.
You know, that's interesting. Yeah, the Terminator 1, a lot of people haven't seen that one because they just watched Terminator 2, you know? 1 was more of a horror movie, almost like Alien and Aliens.
Yeah, and Arnie wasn't like a one-liner spouting guy.
Yeah, he wasn't really yet.
He wasn't that good at acting, so they just had him flex his pecs and shoot Sarah Connor.
Yeah. He was actually really intimidating in that first Terminator movie. He actually played a good villain. Mm-hmm. That's what made Terminator 2 so mind-blowing, is if you saw 1 first, which I didn't, of course. I wasn't lucky enough. Alright, then, what's your number 10?
Don't you do 3 in a row?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll do 3 in a row. Sure. Alright, my number 9 is from Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. I felt bad last week not including any Lord of the Rings picks. And it's because Lord of the Rings blends together. Every scene is so good that there's not really one best scene of all time in Lord of the Rings. It just kind of all blends together. It's like a good book, you know. Usually with a book, you don't say, oh, that one chapter. That was so good. It's just like the whole story is good. But so I'm coming back with You Shall Not Pass from the Fellowship of the Ring. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Another one that's on my list because it's so fun to imitate it. I think the good thing about a one-liner is how easily it rolls off the tongue. You can say it yourself, and it's fun to say. That's what makes a good one-liner. And You Shall Not Pass by Gandalf is a great line.
That one's like the most quoted one-liner.
Is
like
it?
Whenever anything at all possibly relates to someone passing, like like if you're like in the morning and you can't get your poop won't come out, you could be like, you shall not pass.
Or like if you're playing poker, you could say you shall not pass.
Pass?
Yeah.
Do they pass in poker?
Is there passing? Oh, it's check, not pass. Oh man! Oh no, we're live. I can't edit that out. All right.
And the whole speech is awesome too. Not just you shall not pass.
Yeah. You know, Ian McKellen.
Of the flame of Urden.
Yeah. He knows how to deliver that line.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like his accent is like he does the whole S's are SH's.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
3 days of the Lord flesh.
Oh.
Or not Lord, the bird.
Yeah, it's kind of like a old man drawl.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gandalf is awesome. That first Lord of the Rings movie. I actually had it at 9 out of 10, And then when we rewatched it, I had to upgrade it to 10 out of 10. That's just one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, yeah. Easy 10.
That's a classic. I think that'll be looked back on when like our kids are like, "Wow, Lord of the Rings." That's like that one and Star Wars. Those are the two best.
Mm-hmm. Like the early 2000s were not that good.
Yeah.
But Lord of the Rings is like easily the best part of it.
Yeah. Well, you don't usually get too many classics.
Yeah.
You know, there's one every couple of years, you know.
It takes a while to realize it's a classic.
Yeah, it does. All right, so let's see. 8. This one is another Arnold. This one is Come With Me If You Want to Live.
And that's from T2, right?
That's from T2, yeah. And the reason I put this one above I'll Be Back is because Come With Me If You Want to Live was good, because it was playing off your knowledge of the first one. So, in the first one, if all you had seen is the first one when you watched the Terminator series, you thought the Terminator, Arnold, was evil. He was there to kill Sarah Connor, that's his only goal, and he'll go to his death to do it. So in Terminator 2, the first appearance of Arnold, he walks in, he's carrying the gun, and Sarah Connor thinks, oh, he's about to kill me. And then what makes the line, "Come with me if you want to live," good is it's like, whoa, this is surprising. What's going on? Why is Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, offering to help Sarah Connor? And
I think I know why.
Why?
Because he got so famous from the first Terminator that people didn't want him to be the villain anymore.
No. They did not invent that storyline as a part of Arnold's contract. It did not happen. No, yeah, I bet you're right. He probably's like, I'm not playing the villain. I'm only playing the hero. So they switched into hero role. But it actually really works. It's a great idea.
Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah.
Then they ran that one into the ground too.
Oh, okay.
That was in Gen.
As good as some of the Terminator one-liners are, is bad, worst usages of any one-liners in the later Terminator movies. It couldn't be more forced and horrible in the later Terminators. Like, what was Terminator Genesis? Oh, Terminator Genesis. They used one-liners terribly in that movie.
And then Terminator 3 was just a copy of 2, but worse.
Yeah, Terminator 3 was a very poor man's Terminator 2.
I actually kind of like Terminator Salvation.
You
That's
did?
kind of like a guilty pleasure for me.
Yeah, I mean,
People think it sucks.
it's
but
not
I like
so bad. It's just, it's not very good either. It's kind of like iRobot. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh yeah. Actually, it does remind me of iRobot a little bit. It actually has like a similar plot too, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, iRobot, Terminator Salvation, they're watchable. They're not. I wouldn't say they're terrible.
Are there going to be any more? Oh, we also have to talk about. Me and Tay thought of an idea for a Terminator sequel.
Oh.
It would take so long to explain it. I'll just do a really quick version. It's going to be called Terminator Exodus.
Okay. Yeah.
Or didn't you want to call it Termi X or something?
No, that's just how we joke about
Terminator
Exodus.
Exodus.
Okay.
And it's where the Terminators have conquered planet Earth.
Yeah.
And the robots have advanced to space technology, so they're moving on to different planets.
Mm-hmm.
And then the main plot is around like a group of aliens.
Yeah.
And they're defending against the Terminators.
So picture this. You know how Terminator 1 and 2 both open with an epic battle scene?
Yeah.
Okay. Terminator Exodus opens with another huge epic battle scene. But this one's different. In this battle scene, the Terminators finally kill the last humans on Earth. Then you know the storyline. You don't have to pretend like you're surprised.
Wait, pitch it to me. I'm not buying it.
No, okay. So the Terminators kill the last humans on Earth, and they have no purpose left on Earth, because the reason they killed the humans was to ensure their own survival. So then the next most reasonable calculation is, well, there may be other living organisms in the universe, so we have to invent space technology to see if we can eliminate them too, to even more ensure our existence. So it's like 20,000, 40,000 years later, they have extreme space technology. They can like use warp drives and so on. And then there's other planets in the far distance of the galaxy. And I want Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to be the leader of a group of young Marines, a la Aliens. And these Marines, helmed by Johnson, have to fight off the extremely advanced Terminators that are there to destroy their world. And there's huge Terminator battleships, and there's armies of the skeletal Terminators, and it's a huge epic battle. And the only way I want this movie to be made is if it's directed by James Cameron. Because you can't make a Terminator movie without James Cameron.
And if
they keep sucking.
James, if you're listening,
yeah, we know
you can buy our idea. It's okay.
James Cameron, I will accept $5,000 for that, and 1% profit margin,
and a Schwarzenegger signature.
Yeah, meet and greet with Schwarzenegger.
Oh, and wasn't Arnie gonna be like an alien too?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was gonna have a giant.
Oh, he was gonna be like a grizzled veteran.
Yeah, he's gonna be like a Cuban smoking super old green alien on the planet, and he's gonna be one of the members of the team of Dwayne Rock Johnson's team.
Yeah.
So we got Arnold and The Rock and other people in the team, alien-style Marines teaming up to fight the Terminators. Directed by Cameron. I want to see it right now.
Yeah, we gotta get The Rock a good movie.
I know.
The Rock doesn't have his classic.
Yeah, The Rock
yet.
doesn't really have that many good movies. Can you think of even one that he's good?
His best one is Fast 5.
Yeah, Fast 5 is a fairly good film.
That's good. And then The Rundown is pretty good.
The Rundown is kind of
It's kind of like Commando. Like, it's good if you're a fan, but it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's your first 3.
Yep.
My turn.
All right, your turn. What's your number 10?
This one's kind of funny.
Okay, kind of funny. Yeah, Nin's about to play on his iPad.
The only video I could find of it was a 10-minute repeat of the line.
Okay, play it. Let's hear it.
Okay, hold on.
Play it.
Here we go.
Let us hunt some orc.
Wait, one more time.
Let us hunt some orc.
Okay, I think I know why you picked Let's Hunt Some Orc.
Why?
Okay, because you remember that line, and when we were kids, we used to make our own comics. And one of Nin used to write his own Lord of the Rings comics when he was a kid. And one of Gimli's catchphrases was, "Let's hunt some orc." Because they are always bored in the comic. They don't know what to do. So Gimli suggests, "Let's hunt some orc."
Yeah, Gimli was like the idiot, so he was always trying to find some excuse to swing his axe.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's actually a good pick. Let's hunt some orc.
And, it's a personal top 10 for me. This isn't really best. It's ones I like.
Yeah, one-liners are completely subjective, unlike film, which is entirely objective.
Not completely.
Yeah.
There's some objective, but I like this one just because it's so epic. I rewatched Lord of the Rings 1, as Tay said, and what I realized was Aragorn is so sick.
Yeah, Aragorn.
Like, Legolas used to be my favorite, but now Aragorn is by far the coolest.
Aragorn was the coolest character by far. Legolas didn't even do anything in the first one except shoot a few arrows.
He's cool shooting. He's cool, but Aragorn, like, Viggo Mortensen just completely dominated Aragorn.
Viggo is a great actor.
Great actor.
He's one of those actors that you just have to see.
Yeah, he's got, like, a cool voice.
Yeah.
He's got the 7-Day Shadow.
Yeah, The Road, A History of Violence, Eastern Promises. He's got some great movies.
Yeah, so Aragorn's beast, and then this moment in the movie is so epic.
Yeah.
Because they're just about to give up. The Fellowship is broken.
Yeah.
But then Aragorn has to band them together to go catch Merry and Pippin.
Yeah.
It's so epic. Let's hunt some orc.
Let's hunt some orc.
That's one of my favorites.
That's a good line. Okay, number 10, Let's Hunt Some Orc. All right, what's number 9?
Okay, this one's number 9 right here. I'm going to have to fast forward it because I couldn't get a good video.
Okay. Okay, wait. What is this? What is it going to be?
Alright, I'll let you guys listen in here.
Can't rely on anyone these days. You gotta do everything yourself. Don't we? That's okay. I came prepared. It's a funny world we live in. Speaking of which, you know how I got these scars? No. But I know how you got these.
What? You like that line?
Yeah, that's awesome. You don't like that?
No, that's actually the one moment in Dark Knight I don't like.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Because it's like the callback, because they showed Batman getting the gadget earlier. Okay. So it's kind of like Bond getting his gadget.
Yeah, but it's so cheap. It doesn't fit with the tone of the movie. It's like, do you know how I got these scars? That's Joker's like super serious line. And then, yeah, I know how you got these. That's like something Arnold would say.
No, I like it. I think it fits because like at the end of The Dark Knight, Joker has so completely wrecked Batman by the end of it.
Yeah.
And like it's almost like Joker won at the end. Like usually the good guy wins, but Joker kind of won.
Okay.
But that's like the one moment where Batman's just like he just wrecks the Joker, and that's the one moment where you're watching it and you still feel like Batman is still like the hero, like he isn't completely wrecked. So Yeah,
Okay.
I like that one. And it's also just awesome because, like, Batman and his, like, deep voice.
Yeah, okay.
And it's kind of like a personal pick, too.
That wouldn't make my list. Whenever I watch The Dark Knight, that line kind of sticks out a little bit. It's like, it doesn't quite fit the tone.
Come on, man. It's Batman.
Okay, what's number 7? Number 7.
Okay. Oh, this one was a late edition.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say what it used to be. I think. What did it? Oh, it was the Jaws one.
Jaws?
Where he was about to kill Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
I changed that one out.
Okay.
To this one.
Okay, let's hear it. Nin's number 7 pick.
You want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah, that's it. 'Cause
Okay.
I was looking up to replace the Jaws one.
Okay.
And I found that one. I was just like, what? Of course.
Yes.
You cannot forget about that one. That's like the best,
Yeah.
most iconic one-liner ever.
Say hello to my little friend. That's invaded the culture.
Yeah.
It's like people might say that and they don't even know what "Say hello to my little friend" is from.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of like you're
Like
talking to
some
me.
little kid on the playground might say hello to my little friend" as he pretends to shoot somebody, even
Yeah.
though he's definitely never seen Scarface.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a great pick. It's definitely iconic.
Yeah, it's just super memorable. It kind of wraps up the whole Pacino Scarface character in that one line almost.
That's true. That's true.
Really iconic. And it's right before he blows up a wall with a grenade launcher. So
That
that's pretty
movie
good.
is nice and over the top.
Yeah.
Nice and over the top.
I love Pacino's performance in that movie.
Yeah, Pacino's one of the best.
I almost put in my top 10 scenes from last week, I almost put in his like drunken speech at the dinner party.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that one? I almost put that one in there.
Yeah, I do. That was a good scene, but I don't remember the theme of it at all, though, or any of the
He was
lines.
like,
I always tell the truth, even when I lie.
"Oh yeah,
remember that?
oh yeah."
That was the moment I was just like, whoa, that's such a good performance.
I always tell the truth, even when I lie.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
But yeah, I just had to
Okay,
include
so
that
say
one.
hello to my little friend. That was number 8.
Yep.
Okay, so then my turn again.
Mm-hmm. Number 7.
Number 7. All right. Number 7 is... Okay. Oh yeah, this is actually a comedic one-liner.
Arnold?
Nope, it's
Oh.
from a comedy from the 60s, I think, or 50s. It's from Dr. Strangelove,
Huh?
and the
okay.
line is, "You can't fight in here. This is the war room." I remember when I first heard that. I was on the floor pretty much. That was hilarious. The delivery was it was hilarious because you can't fight in here. This is the war room. It's just so clever, and they're all just yelling at each other, and it's too clever.
Yeah, I can't remember if I saw that for the first time in the movie or somewhere else.
Really?
Do you remember?
I thought it was definitely
Was-
the first time I heard it when I watched the movie because
Yeah.
I was just laughing so hard.
Yeah, I gotta see that movie again. That's like the only thing I remember about the movie was that one line.
Yeah, Doctor Strangelove, that's a great movie. You know, that just proves that Kubrick was a Beats director, one of the best of all time. Because it takes a lot of skill to even master your own genre, but to master multiple genres, you know you're one of the best of all time. That's why Kubrick is one of the best.
And that line like encapsulates the whole movie too, because it's like a parody of everything.
It's like a parody of like wartime stuff. Like,
Yeah.
the commanders are all around the huge desk and they're just yelling at each other, and it's hilarious. I need to rewatch that one too. I got to see it again. That was my number 7. Or number 6, I think. Okay, now this has a setup. The setup to the line is actually another comedy one. This is one of my favorite comedies of all time. The setup to the line is, "Surely you can't be serious." And then the one-liner is the reply to "Surely you can't be serious." "I am serious, and don't call me Shirley."
Yeah, Airplane, man.
Airplane. Leslie Nielsen is one of the greatest comedy actors of all time, and he doesn't go over the top. He's like, what is it, dry humor, where he just says something
Yeah.
that's super funny, but he says it with a completely straight
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
Yeah, and don't call me Shirley.
Mm-hmm. The first time I saw that movie, it was you and me, and we
Renzo.
were dying. Like, I think we all popped a hernia laughing so hard. at the
Oh
movie.
yeah, it was like 1 a.m. We were all tired, drunk. we were watching, so it was just like we were on the dancing scene. Remember the dancing scene? We had to pause the movie for the dancing scene. We were laughing so hard. We missed like half the movie because we were LOLing so hard from that dancing scene, especially when he started hovering off the ground. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then he actually had another line on when he was on the plane. What was it when he was like, "We're all counting on you. Don't let us down."
Yeah.
What was that line?
Oh yeah, he said it 3 times
Yeah.
when the plane was going down. He was like, "Now just relax. We're all counting on you."
Yeah, relax. We're all counting on you. Don't worry.
Like he said that before they started going down, and
Yeah.
then as they're about to crash, he just pops in randomly and says that.
Yeah, they're about to go down, and he said it again. We're all counting on you. Don't worry. Relax.
Like Leslie Nielsen in that movie is like the ultimate character you root for.
Yeah, he
'Cause
was
he's
so
just-
hilarious.
So funny.
Yeah, yeah. You know, Airplane, Naked Gun 1 and 2. Those are and what's that one comedy? The Old
Spy
West
Hard?
comedy.
Oh,
Those
Blazing
are my
Saddles?
Blazing Saddles. Those are my favorite comedies of all time.
Yeah.
I don't like these new style comedies where it's all about like, oh, let's have a party, dubstep's playing, oh, stupid 2016 humor. It's not funny. No,
Yeah, like-
most of the comedies nowadays suck.
Like the complete opposite of Airplane would be like 21 Jump Street,
Yeah.
where they just do a dick joke like every 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not clever.
They get-
Airplane actually is clever.
Yeah, the thing
Like,
about Airplane,
every joke is a pun.
They've got sight gags, puns, and just like everything is like, oh, I get it. This is hilarious.
Yeah, it's like satire jokes too.
Yep. Yeah, Airplane is beast. That's one of my favorites of all time. All right, one more down. Let's see here. Is it my turn still?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. This one is kind of shaky. I don't know if this counts as a one-liner. It's from Princess Bride. It's when the one guy finally meets the guy he was trying to kill because he killed his father. Remember? Do you think that counts as a one-liner? The lines, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." It's three sentences. It's technically 3 sentences, but it's kind of like he keeps repeating it over and over, you know, and it becomes like one thing in your mind. So that's why it's stuck in my mind as a one-liner, because it's like one phrase that he kept saying over and over again. So it seems like a one-liner to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that on mine because it's like it's too hard to quote. It's too long.
Yeah, but it has such a good cadence, like the way he says it. It just sticks in your
it's
mind.
awesome. It's like one of the best quotes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really say it's a one-liner though.
Yeah, you're probably right. If we had a combined list, I wouldn't argue for it, because it is more than one line. But I put the list together quickly, as I said. Princess Bride's one of my favorite movies, and that's one of the best lines in the whole movie. It's so good.
What was the other line? That one guy is like, ingenious or something.
Oh no.
What
It's
is it?
inconceivable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a one-liner. Oh,
Yeah.
that's actually good. Inconceivable.
That's kind of a one-liner. I don't know.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Princess Bride, that's one of the best like kids fantasy movies ever. That's one of my favorites.
Who hasn't seen it?
I don't know.
No one.
Maybe somebody who's watching this hasn't seen it, and then now they're gonna watch it.
I love how diverse our lists are.
Yeah,
None of the same ones.
Yeah,
so
this
far.
is way more diverse.
Yeah, because these lists are more personal.
Okay, what's your next one?
All right, here's my next one.
All right.
Here's Johnny.
That's it.
Okay.
Here's Johnny.
Here's Johnny from The Shining. Another Stanley. Hey, that's 2 Kubricks.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Just think about which directors would you say have the best one-liners? Oh, Stanley Kubrick. He has the best one-liners. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So why did you choose Here's Johnny?
I just like it because it's like you have to think about what it means,
Yeah.
and like Jack Nicholson is so crazy in that movie. He could literally say anything and it would make sense because he's just insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he just pops his head in the door, and you have no idea what he's gonna say next. Like before that, he was like saying that one children's rhyme thing,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
puff the house down.
Yeah.
So you just don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. And wasn't that line ad-libbed too
Yeah, well, I think like every line was ad-libbed.
by him? Yeah.
Yeah, they probably just did like 100 takes with different lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
Kubrick was known for doing hundreds of takes.
I think that's what they used to say on the Johnny Carson show.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I
Me
actually
neither.
thought the line originated from Here's Johnny
Yeah,
in The
same.
Shining. And I didn't, because I'd never seen Johnny Carson's show. And
They
then,
were too young for that.
yeah, Dad's like, oh, Here's Johnny. That's from Johnny Carson. I'm like, what? I thought that was from The Shining.
So it's kind of like, it's almost like a fourth wall breaking moment. And that whole movie is almost like a fourth wall break too.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there's so many different like symbols, and people think it's like some moon landing conspiracy.
Oh yeah, and the Illuminati.
Yeah.
And then the ending is just like a total mind blower.
What's the mind blower?
Well, I don't want to spoil it. Remember, it's like it kind of zooms in on a picture frame, and then, and then you're like,
yeah,
what?
That's
this
crazy.
whole movie doesn't make any sense. I gotta rethink my entire thoughts on the entire movie.
Yeah, and I just love Jack Nicholson's performance throughout the whole movie. So
Yeah,
I
I've said
like
this
that
before. The Shining is the best horror movie of all time.
Yeah, you can't really get.
You
And maybe Alien could maybe come close, but
maybe. But for pure horror,
yeah,
I'd say
probably Shining.
The Shining is the best of all time. Yep. All right. So that was your number something or other. I can't keep track. What's your next one?
That was 7.
Okay.
Okay, this one has some mild swearing.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from Aliens.
From Aliens.
That was awesome. Oh, that was my next one. Don't pay attention to that.
Okay.
But I love the Aliens one.
So Ellen Ripley from Aliens telling the giant alien how she feels about her.
Yeah, because it's just like Ellen Ripley, like she was not cool in the first one. It's kind of like Sarah Connor, like she's not cool in the first one, but then in the second one, she just becomes like this ultimate BA person.
Yeah, Cameron knows how to make a good heroine.
And then, you know, she's going back for Newt, which I actually don't like in the movie. It doesn't really make sense, because I don't know why she would go back for Newt.
Oh yeah, that is a big flaw in the movie, because Newt gets taken by 3 aliens. Why does she assume that she's still alive? I guess she assumes that she's going to use Newt for like a incubator for alien eggs or something. I guess they were kind of doing that.
Our whole thing with Aliens, like we saw it the first time and we absolutely hated Aliens.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we just watched Alien and then it was like super late and we watched Aliens and we thought it was going to be like the first one, but it wasn't at all.
No, it wasn't.
It went from like horror.
Alien 1 is like super dark tone, like pure sci-fi horror. And then Alien 2 is like an action, one-liner dropping Cameron fest.
Mm-hmm.
So the tone really conflicted, and we just thought Aliens sucked when we first saw it.
But then we watched it again.
It was good.
It's awesome, actually.
It was pretty good, actually.
I think we were just tired, and we expected it to be like the first one, but it is awesome.
Yeah.
Still not as good as the first one, though.
Nowhere near as good as the first one.
But that moment when she goes back to get Newt, the alien queen.
That moment's epic.
The music stops. Get away from it. It's just so epic.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like the protective nature of Ellen Ripley, like, because she views Newt as her surrogate daughter. And so it's just like...
It was just the perfect thing to say right before a giant mech v alien fight, I think.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I like that.
And the fight is awesome, too.
The fight was cool. I actually like it.
The effects are so good.
Yeah, the effect. Oh,
she's
you're
in
right.
the mech.
The giant mech. It looks real.
Yeah, I know.
The only thing that negative is that it seems like it's a little slow moving, but
like when the mech punches the alien, it looks so good. Like that's better than most CG too.
Yeah, it's
like
better than
like
Pacific
Rim and
any
stuff.
CG because it looks totally real.
Yeah. Oh man.
The effects
awesome.
the effects in Alien and Aliens are just mind blowing effects. You can't beat those effects.
Yeah. Okay, is it another one for me?
Yes.
Yeah, one more for me.
One more for you.
This is Sparta!
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
this is Sparta.
I thought about putting this as Sparta on my list, but I was also thinking about Tonight We Dine in Hell from that one. You don't like that line?
Cheesy. This
Really?
is Sparta's way better because the build up to it is so awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
The entire scene is building up.
Wasn't
to
the build up like the guy was disrespecting Sparta or something? Like disrespecting their honor.
Wasn't it?
No,
like,
he came in and he told them that they would all have to obey the rules of whatever Xerxes, and that they would have to all bow down to him.
Yeah,
and he was the messenger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Leonidas is so awesome in this movie.
Leonidas is one of the best action heroes.
He stands up to the army in this ultimate scene, and it culminates in that line. And you know, some people will probably not like the line because it's so overplayed.
Yeah, well, it's almost like Say Hello to My Little Friend. I guarantee you, anytime somebody kicks anything, they're going to say, this is Sparta.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the cinematography of the scene, too. When he kicks him, and then it's fast-mo, but then right when the foot impacts, it turns into slow-mo. It's been overplayed now, but it's a great effect in 300, which was the originator of that effect.
Yeah, I was always thinking like Zack Snyder's pinnacle movie was 300.
Yeah,
because it was such a visual movie, and that's what he's good at.
Yeah, he nailed it because that was right in his wheelhouse. Comic book film, pure action, not a very deep storyline, just all about the visual technique and style of the fighting. That's why Zack Snyder was able to nail that movie, and that's why he's also not able to nail movies like Batman vs. Superman and, you know, other ones that he does. Watchmen was pretty good.
Not a big fan. I didn't like any of the changes that they made from the comic.
Well, the ending, you have to change that, though, don't you?
Yeah. The ending change was okay. They added so much violence, and I didn't like any of the changes.
They made it way more violent. That was a dumb choice.
Yeah.
Watchmen could have been just like a light R, kind of like Matrix, but then they decided to make it like a super hard R, and it was just like, this does not fit the comic.
No, it doesn't. I didn't like Watchmen very much, but 300 definitely needed to be hard R.
Oh yeah, 300's hard R is totally justified.
The violence in that movie, it's like super grotesque, but it just makes it more awesome.
Like if it was like a realistic tone, like History of Violence, and it was that violent, you'd be like barfing and you'd never watch it. It'd be like Passion of the Christ. Mm-hmm. But then the tone of the film is total action movie, like epicness. You know exactly. It's like almost like Thor or something, like mythical Greek gods. They all have abs and everything. It's like it totally fits the tone of the movie, the extreme violence. So yeah, 300 is a great movie. All right, so that was your number what? 4?
That was my 5.
That was your 5, or what's your 4?
I think it's your turn now.
So I didn't do my 4 yet?
No.
All right, let me see. 1, 2, 3. No, I've got 4 left. How many do you have?
I have 4 left.
Okay,
yeah.
Do one more.
No, I think it's your turn.
Okay, fine. My number 4 is Get Off My Plane by Harrison Ford.
Oh, that was one of my honorable mentions.
Okay, really?
Yeah, because that's one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, you may not have heard of this one. It's one of my personal favorites. It's from the movie Air Force One, where Harrison Ford plays the president, and it's it's like a Die Hard ripoff. It's where terrorists take over the Air Force One. They manage to sneak on, and the only person left that can defeat them is the president himself, played by Harrison Ford. And Harrison Ford is just so good in Air Force One. He's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of like a sleeper, one of my favorite sleeper action movies. It's so good. It's probably like the best Die Hard ripoff out there.
And also, it's kind of a running joke because whenever we go to a motel, it's always on the TV.
Oh yeah, that's why it's stuck in our consciousness so much.
Yeah.
Like when we were kids, whenever we went to a motel and we turned on the TV, because that's always the first thing you do when you get into a motel, is you turn on the TV to see what channels they have. I don't know why we did that. Yeah. So we turn it on, and the movie channel was always playing Air Force One. It probably wasn't always, but it happened at least more than once.
Definitely more than one time.
So that's why we were like, whoa, crazy.
So
they're always playing it. Yeah. Air Force One is great.
Yeah, we watched it a million times.
Yeah, and the thing about Get Off My Plane is it's awesome because it's like that's like the peak of the movie.
Because Harrison Ford didn't have any power throughout the entire movie.
Oh yeah, it's like
he was always being
it's a rebalancing of the power
by the will of Gary Oldman.
Yeah, Gary Oldman. Ooh,
and then
he was good.
Did he say that to Gary Oldman or?
Yeah.
No, he said it to the other guy, right?
No, he said it to Gary Oldman when he throws him off the edge.
No, I think it was the other guy who betrayed him.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, it was Gary Oldman. I would bet on it.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, it was Gary. It was in the scene when they're in the rear of the plane and the hatch is open, and then he connects them. You know, and he says, "Get off my plane."
Yeah,
that's epic. Yeah, you should watch Air Force One if you haven't seen it. It's pretty fun. You might want to get some popcorn, get some pop, sit down with some snacks and some friends, and just enjoy the Harrison Ford performance. Oh yeah, and it opens with an epic presidential speech. It's like, we refuse to negotiate with terrorists. It's epic.
Yeah, like I wanted to vote for Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I wish we could vote for Harrison Ford after that movie.
Yeah, if Trump was on the plane, he would just get wrecked.
Yeah. Okay, so that was my number 4. All right, what's your number 4? And then we'll do You'll just switch off from now on.
Okay, this one, I'm guessing you didn't think about this one, but it's one of the most BA quotes ever.
Okay.
It's from a Western film.
A Western film. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, let me guess. Is it a Clint Eastwood?
Yep.
You a bounty hunter? Yeah, he's got to do something for a living these days. Dying ain't much of a living, boy.
That's it.
I actually did think about putting that.
Oh, you
on
did
that.
think about that?
Yep, I saw it.
Okay.
That's a good line. So what does he say? He says,
He's like, man's got to do something for a living these days.
oh yeah,
Dying ain't much of a living, boy.
yeah, that's a good
That's
line.
so awesome. Eastwood just totally erects him.
Yeah, yeah. Dying ain't much of a living.
That's the one, just on the pure awesomeness of the quote alone, you have to put it on there. Even though it's not like an iconic line or anything. Like, I still think it's better than Dirty Harry line.
Yeah, as I was doing research, I saw the "You Feeling Lucky" Punk one.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big fan of that line.
It's
actually.
too wordy and hard to say. People always get it wrong.
Yeah.
It is an awesome scene though, but the actual quote is not that hard to, or not easy enough to say. So it's not a good one-liner.
Yeah, it's not one of my favorite one-liners, but I agree with you. That's a good one. What was that one-liner in the first one of the
Fistful of Dollars?
Yeah, Fistful of Dollars, where he's like the coffins. He's like getting.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to think of that line about the coffins.
That one's awesome too.
It was like, he's like he
was like saying how many coffins
he
they
goes
needed.
to the morgue and he's like, I need an order of 3 coffins or something like that.
Yeah.
It was an epic line.
It was the most awesome.
I remember when I heard, I was like, when I heard that line, it was that.
Yeah.
Oh man, that trilogy is so good.
Eastwood is just so awesome. Like in any movie, he's awesome.
Yeah, I love Eastwood.
Even up till like from the '60s up until like Gran Torino.
Yeah.
And by the way, my quote was from Pale Rider.
Oh, Pale Rider.
That was the movie. If you want to watch that.
Let's see. Pale Rider.
Yeah.
That was the one where he's kind of older, right? And he plays the preacher.
It's after the Fistful trilogy.
He plays the preacher in that one, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah.
And
Pale Rider's good.
There's he kind of like wrecked some guys earlier in the movie, and then I think there's like some hitmen coming to kill him.
Okay.
And then so he's about to kill Eastwood.
Oh, so the hitman's coming and he's like, I'm about to kill you for.
So Eastwood brings it up that being a hitman is a sucky job, and then he's like, a man's got to make a living, and then Eastwood's like, dying ain't much of a living.
Oh, that's a good line.
And then of course he proceeds to shoot them.
Yeah, of course. That's
with deadly
essential.
force.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's good. That's a great pick. That definitely should be on the top 10.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3 is a movie. It's a courtroom drama, and it stars Jack Nicholson.
Huh. Courtroom drama, Jack Nicholson. What could this be?
It's a little line that's great. You can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
Was that on your list?
I almost put it on there.
You almost put it. Wow, so far our lists have been entirely different.
I know.
This is crazy. Yeah, you can't handle the truth. This is a great line because Jack Nicholson almost plays a cameo in the movie, but he delivers such a strong performance that he's the main thing you remember from the film. Mm-hmm. He only has like that starting scene where he first talks with him and then the ending court scene, but he delivers his lines with such force and believability that it's just like, it's so memorable. And his the accumulation of the entire conversation with the interrogation of Cruz is interrogating him. You can't handle the truth. It's like, it's an admission of truth. It's still, but it's almost like he's saying, you're right, but I'm still right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm in the wrong, but I know I'm in the right, kind of. You know? That's a great movie. I think the writer was, what's that writer that's always writing everything? Oh yeah, Aaron Sorkin.
He did that?
Yep, Aaron Sorkin. You wrote that.
He did The Social Network, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Then you liked A Few Good Men.
Oh, that's why I didn't put it on my top 10. Okay.
Okay, yeah. No, The Social Network wasn't that bad. Right, but I digress. So yeah, you can't handle the truth is a great line. Good one-liner. What's your number 2 pick?
Okay, my number 3.
Number 3?
This one.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you would have thought of this one. And I don't know if this one really deserves to be in the top 10, but I watched the movie recently.
Okay.
And it was just so awesome I had to put it on here.
Okay.
So I gotta find the line.
Oh, you haven't found it yet?
No, I have the video, but I have to
you have to find it in the video.
Yeah.
Alright. What is this gonna be? We'll see if we have to punt. Alright, you ready? Alright, play it.
Okay. 2 guys playing poker.
Okay.
4-9. 4 jacks. You owe me 15 grand, pal.
We're gonna have to punt. Yeah, that's my number one.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, okay. This is great. If you don't recognize the line is, "You owe me 15 grand, pal."
Yeah.
Okay, this line is great. So the setup for this line, it's actually my number one pick. The setup for the line is one of the main characters and the main villain.
It's from The Sting.
The Sting. Oh yeah, The Sting. 1972. One of the best movies of all time. And Paul Newman plays the good guy, and he's facing off against Robert Shaw. So this is like the Clash of the Titans. It's awesome. So he comes in and he's trying to steal Robert Shaw's money, and they're playing a game of high stakes poker, and it's like a private match. And he gets in there because he wants to scam him. And the movie's The Sting, so it's about like some con men, and he's trying to con him. The thing is, Robert Shaw is planning on cheating, so he's super confident in the fight, and he's gonna cheat and scam Paul Newman out of the money. But then the funny thing is, Paul Newman is also planning on cheating. Mm-hmm. So Robert Shaw puts down his cards, and he's like 4 nines, and he's like, oh, I win 4 nines. I cheated, I win. Yeah. And then Paul Newman gets the funniest smirk on his mouth, and he's like, 4 jacks. You owe me 15 grand, pal. Yeah. And what makes it great is Robert Shaw can't complain, because then he'd have to admit that he was also cheating, because he'd be like, hey, I was cheating. I was supposed to win that hand. And it's perfect. He just smiles. It's one of the best one-liners of all time.
And this whole scene was like almost like a movie in itself. Like, you could watch this scene with just a little backstory, and it would be like a short film.
Oh, yes.
That's how good it is.
Yeah, The Sting. It's so good.
And I love Paul Newman, too. His delivery of this line, he just leans forward. You owe me 15 grand, pal.
Yeah.
And then Robert Shaw, who's awesome, from Jaws.
What his facial expression was like?
Yeah, it just looks like he lost, like he was about to win the lottery, but then he turned out he actually didn't win or something.
Yeah.
It was so awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
I can't believe I sniped your number one.
Yeah, that was my number one. Paul Newman is one of the best actors of all time. He's probably in my top 5 favorite actors.
Yeah, and Robert Shaw too. Like, he doesn't have that many good movies.
Yeah, I wouldn't. He's only got 2 movies that I've seen, I think.
Like, mainly his performance in Jaws.
Yeah,
and he was also in From Russia with Love.
You know, funny you should mention Jaws. I have yet to give my number 2 line.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My number 2 line is from Jaws. We're going to need or wait, no, not that. You're going to need a bigger boat. I almost said it wrong.
Okay.
You're going to need a bigger boat. It's a good one-liner, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess that is a one-liner.
I was like, you don't really think of it as a one-liner. But wait a minute, it is a one-liner. You know, because it's one line. It's because
it's usually witty.
He throws the chum out, and then Jaws comes up, and he's like, you're going to need a bigger boat.
Mm-hmm. Like, usually I think of one-liners as being witty, but I guess it is kind of witty.
It is witty.
Because
kind of.
Jaws is, like, almost as big as the boat.
Yeah. Jaws comes up, he's way too big. So it is witty. It's like clever.
And it's, like, so true, because at the end of the movie, like, Jaws is, like, literally pulling the boat.
Oh, yeah.
When he's attached to the line.
Yeah, it comes true. Yeah.
That is a good line. Wasn't that ad-libbed?
No, I don't think that was ad-libbed.
I thought it might have been or something.
Really?
I think it was.
Wow, if that's ad-libbed. I love it when an ad-libbed line is one of the best of all time. Yeah. It's awesome. All right, so that's my number 2. So my number 1 was You Owe Me 15 Grand, Pal from The Sting. So what's your number 1?
My number 2.
Or your number 2? Okay, that was your number 1?
No. This is my number 2. I got 2 more.
Oh, okay.
This one, finally bringing in some Arnie.
Okay.
We didn't do any of the same picks. It's crazy. Oh, I didn't have sound on.
Stop turning the sound down. Okay. Nin's ruining our podcast with Dead Space playing. Oh, Nin, no. Come on, hurry.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you chose the Terminator 2 quote of a different ilk.
Yeah, you chose 2 Arnie quotes that weren't that. So I chose this as his best Arnie quote.
Okay.
I had to choose an Arnie because number one, he's the king of one-liners.
Yeah.
You can't get better.
No one beats Arnold for the sheer volume and delivery of one-liners.
But I had to think, what separates his one-liners? It has to be in a good movie.
Okay.
So, because like Commando, there's so many good one-liners, but that movie kind of sucks.
You're right.
And Running Man too. Like the movie's so bad. Like there's a lot of good one-liners, but I had to pick his best movie. Terminator 2, by far his best movie.
Okay.
So I had to pick Hasta La Vista Baby.
So Hasta La Vista Baby better than Come With Me If You Want to Live?
Better than Come With Me If You Want to Live. Better than I'll Be Back.
Okay.
Because that's the moment where he's actually learning how, like, what humans do.
Okay.
And because in Terminator 1, he said I'll be back, which is kind of a human thing to say.
Yeah.
But he never was taught how to be a human at that point by anyone.
Yeah.
So that it kind of makes it weird and kind of fourth wall breaking.
Right.
In this one, John Connor had this whole awesome scene where he was teaching Terminator what humans do and what humans say.
Right.
So he's like, "Oh, come on, man, you gotta say, chill out, dickwad."
Yeah.
Chill out, dickwad?
Yeah, yeah.
And then he says, or say, hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah, so it's a classic callback, and it's a good one-liner.
That's one of the best callbacks, too.
Yeah. Yeah, what we call a classic callback, it happens in a lot of movies when you watch them, you'll notice this, is like, they introduce something in the first, 30 minutes of the movie, some line like, "Hey, Jim, don't forget to clean your brakes." And then later in the movie, he'll be like, "Clean these brakes," or something. It's like a classic callback.
Yeah, it's just basically a callback to something that happened earlier in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good example of a classic callback.
But the reason I like that callback is because Arnie actually learned when you should use it to make an awesome line.
Oh, okay. So he demonstrated that he's a learning computer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only bad part about this is that he shoots the guy and he blows up into a million pieces and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But he does just regenerate.
Yeah, that takes away a little bit.
It takes away a little of the coolness because he doesn't actually kill him at that point.
Yeah.
But luckily, there's one line that's better.
Oh, okay. What's number one?
Number one, here we go. It's from a classic film.
Okay.
I want you to eat. I want you to rest well, and a month from now, this Hollywood big shot's gonna give you what you want.
Too late. They start shooting in a week.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
That's it.
Okay.
Godfather.
So number one, The
Brando.
Godfather.
Yep.
Brando. Oh, you're such a Brando writer. All you do is pick Brando.
I had to do that one because Brando as the Godfather, one of the best performances, one of the best movies. And it's a one-liner. Like, you wouldn't think of a one-liner to be in The Godfather.
That's true. I guess it does count as a one-liner.
It's a one-liner.
Oh, yeah. It's clever.
It's
It's
clever.
one line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally, like,
Yeah.
you have to think about it, too, because, like, what does he mean by that? Make him an offer. Oh, he's going to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, so it's clever. And it's also showing just how much of a boss he is. Because
Yeah.
he can just do whatever he wants.
He can make people offers they can't refuse.
Yeah.
Because if they refuse, they're dead.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You don't mess with the Brando.
Yeah, that's a great pick. You know, funny how our number ones are both 70s films. 70s is the best era.
Maybe. 80s, close second.
No.
Nah.
Oh, speaking of 80s.
Oh, yeah, 80s.
All right. Okay, so, yep, that's our top 10. Now we should move on to a little something called our Stranger Things review. So, Stranger Things, then, what is it? Where can we find it? What is it?
Stranger Things is this giant 80s callback. It's in this big movement of that we have now where everything has to be a nostalgic romp through your childhood.
Yeah, that's true.
So they made this Netflix original. It's about a bunch of kids, and one of them goes missing. And it turns out there's deeper, darker mysteries going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
so
it's set in the 80s, so there's a lot of references.
yeah, so it's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original show. And I was very skeptical of the show. I heard some good things about it, so I was like, all right, we'll watch episode 1. And we watched episode 1, and I was not impressed at all. I was like, ugh, this is not that good. This is so average. I was getting the TV effect, because I think there's some sort of cognitive dissonance of people that watch TV shows. They're like, you ask them how good the TV show is, and they're like, oh, it's so good, it's so good. And then you watch the TV show, and it's like, this is not that good. This is horrible effects. The actors are terrible. And it's like, what they really mean is it's good for a TV show. I mean, there's some TV shows that go beyond the good for a TV show thing, like
Breaking Bad.
Gilligan's
Island.
Gilligan's Island is good for a movie. Yeah, some TV shows, they go all out. They give you the good acting. They give you the good cinematography. True Detective was one like that. But usually TV shows aren't that good. So I was thinking, this is another case of good for a TV show. But luckily, Nin forced me to watch because he's like, hey, I'm watching Stranger Things, and I'm just going to watch. You can leave the room if you don't want to watch. So I was like, fine, I'll watch. And there's only 8 episodes, so it's kind of like a mini movie almost.
You're only wasting 8 hours of your life if
yeah,
you
only
watch
8
it,
hours.
so you might as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's... what are some of the pros of the movie, the show? I would say...
I like the girl, who's kind of a he-she, because she doesn't have long hair for most of it, so you can't tell.
So...
But she's kind of cool. Like, she's this random girl that they find, and then she's kind of like adopted by the other kids.
Yeah, so the generic outline of the plot is their friend goes missing, and then they're constantly searching the city and searching all around for him. And then the secondary plot line is a young girl just shows up, and she's got a shaved head, and she's in like a hospital gown, and nobody knows where she's from or what she's about. So those are 2 plots kind of intersect, and if it sounds interesting, it actually gets way more interesting than you think. One of the positives for me of the show, I'm too used to movies. One of the positives of the show is that they have a lot of references to other movies that are good. So if you're somebody who watched a lot of the most popular movies in the 80s, like E.T., Stand By Me, Poltergeist, The Thing, Star Wars, what other ones are there? There's a lot of
Stephen King references.
Oh yeah, Stephen King. So it's kind of like a combination of like coming of age, like little kids storyline, and they're all bonding and they're just like yelling at each other, fighting, going on adventures on their bikes and stuff. It's the thing about it is it's like an homage. It's kind of like Tarantino. It actually is a lot like Tarantino. Like if Tarantino made an 80s E.T. style film with no swearing, it would be kind of like this, maybe. You know what I mean?
I don't see the Tarantino connection.
Because you know how Tarantino always takes like one of his favorite genres, or he takes like some movies that are his favorite
Western
movies. Yeah, he takes some of his favorite movies, and he makes it his own kind of. He references, but he makes it his own. It's definitely more referential than Tarantino, but yeah, it's good in that way. So if you watched a lot of those movies from the 80s, you'll be like, oh, I understand this reference. I keep getting it. You'll be like Captain America. I understood that reference.
I understood that reference.
Yeah, and it adds a little bit of fun to the thing. But Connor was telling me, oh, I'm not gonna watch the show because I wasn't born in the 80s and I haven't seen all the 80s movies. I don't think that's a requirement to watch the show. Do you?
It's not a requirement. You just will miss all the times that the show is homaging the different movies.
Yeah, you'll be like, and then when you watch the movies later on, you'll be like, oh, I see, that was a reference to the movie. I think this is a show you can still enjoy even if you haven't seen all the movies. And in fact, the fact that I had seen one of the movies spoiled the plot line. In like episode 5, I was able to predict the entire plot line because I had seen one movie. Remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. And I was like, oh yeah, it's because it was exactly like one movie I had already seen, which I'm not going to specify since that would kind of spoil it. But
there was too many references for me.
Too many references?
I didn't like all the references. It's like you're constantly watching it with like eagle eyes trying to find all the references.
Yeah, you're right. It does distract from the story a little bit when you constantly are referencing other things.
And it just didn't really feel that original.
Well, I think it was kind of original to say, we're going to take this idea, all these different ideas, we're going to combine it into one plot. It's going to be like an homage. The pieces aren't original, but the combination of the pieces is pretty original.
Yeah, I guess.
Although they kind of did it already with Super 8.
Oh yeah, it was really like Super 8.
Yeah, Super 8 was a
Very similar to Super
What was
8.
who directed that?
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams film, yeah. Super 8 was okay. It actually is a lot like Super 8.
It was better than Super 8.
It was better than Super 8, though. So, yeah. I mean, I would recommend the show. It's a good watch, and it's kind of like one of those ones. It starts a little slow, but once you get into it, you won't be able to stop watching it.
Yeah, and actually, like, there's a few characters, like the girl and like her boyfriend. The first two episodes you're watching it.
Yeah, that's one of the negatives. Like
you're watching in the first two episodes and you can't stand it. It's terrible. You want to stop watching.
Yeah,
then by the end of it, they make it better.
Yeah, they had like a teen storyline in there during the first couple of episodes, and I'm like, this is crap. Every single line of this teen storyline, every thought of the plot has been done before and done to death. And the character was super annoying.
But when you have 8 hours to do the show, it's like you can show her life before all these events, and then you can show her life changing, and then after the events.
Yeah, that was one positive. I was a little bit more of a fan of the character at the end of the show.
Because in movies, you can't have that many characters, and you can't have that much development.
Yeah, you're right.
So you do like the characters more than if it was a movie, and they only had like 10 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
So I grew to like the characters more, but there was still one character who was a total dick that I hated.
Yeah.
He had like a giant afro hair, and he was stupid.
Yeah, and then his friends were even worse than him.
Yeah.
But so some of the characters are really one note and stupid, and the acting can be a little sketchy at times.
There was some pretty good acting from Winona Ryder.
Yeah, she was a little over the top for me.
I didn't think she was over the top. I thought she was good. They just included too many of her freak-out scenes.
Oh,
so you kind of got tired of it.
You're right. You nailed it with that assessment.
Like, her acting was spot on, but it's just like, it's so much crying and freaking out.
Yeah, they had too much similar scenes with her. You're totally right. I liked the sheriff.
Yeah, the sheriff was cool.
I liked him.
He was awesome, actually.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
Like, by the end of it, he's almost like Liam Neeson in Taken. He's so cool.
Yeah, the sheriff is awesome. And how about the kids? What do you think about the kids? The main 4 kids in the
Oh, so you're talking about Frogface, comedic relief fat guy,
Frog.
And obligatory black guy.
Oh yeah, token black guy, token fat guy, token main guy, and token girl.
Yep.
They're not all token though. The girl is the most unique one. I don't really want to spoil the plot at all, but I'm going to say that it involves horror elements, and it starts some sci-fi elements, some supernatural elements. That's the reason you want to keep watching, because at first it doesn't seem like it's that interesting. It kind of gets like government conspiracy, maybe like X-Files a little bit, and it just keeps developing more and more, and it gets more and more interesting. So by the time I was on the second to last episode, it's like, come on, you gotta watch the next episode.
Yeah, once you get into like episode 5, there's a certain moment that's gonna blow your mind. You know that moment I'm talking about, right?
Wait, which one? What?
Mind-blowing reveal moment.
I don't remember a mind-blowing reveal.
Oh, well, I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
After you see that moment, you're going to be hooked for the second half of the show.
Oh, okay.
You just got to stick with it.
All right, after the show, tell me what it is. I need to know what it was. I'm too curious.
That moment was like sick. My jaw was on the floor.
What? What was it? Okay, anyway.
You probably know what I'm talking about.
Okay,
maybe. You just can't think of it.
Maybe. So it's a great show. Good acting. One other thing that was a little negative was the effects are pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say there's some CGI rendered characters in this, and it looks very poor. The animations are bad. You can tell it has a TV budget.
And there's actually a scene where there's some characters watching a scene from The Thing in the show. Like they're watching a movie.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like explaining how the practical effects worked in The Thing.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool. It's like, why didn't you just do that for this?
Yeah.
It's an 80s reference, so why would you use modern CG?
They could have used a practical effect creature. It would have been so much better.
I don't know why they did CG.
I don't know either. But the effects looked really bad. And the thing is, it was totally feasible to have practical in this movie. Or, I'm just going to call it a movie. I'm just calling it a movie. It's a movie. It's an 8-hour movie. It was totally plausible, but the thing is, the CG effects don't appear too often, so it's kind of forgivable. Maybe in season 2 they'll have a bigger budget, so they won't have to have such bad effects.
pretty much every show has bad effects.
Yeah.
I can't really think of... I mean, maybe Game of Thrones. I've never seen it, but it might have good effects.
Yeah.
I've never seen a TV show with good effects.
I've seen like the first 6 episodes of Game of Thrones, and so far there hasn't been a lot of effects yet.
I remember Smallville used to have terrible CG.
Oh, yeah. Smallville. Alright, so let's see. Anything else you want to mention about Stranger Things? Would you recommend people see
probably
it?
a rating. I'd probably give it like anywhere from 7 to 7.5.
I was gonna say 7.5.
Yeah, it's like a 7.5.
Yeah, it's a good watch. It'll keep you hooked after the first few episodes. You'll like the characters. You'll want to see what happens next.
Also, you gotta watch it before someone spoils it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Someone's definitely
bound
gonna
to spoil it. They'll be like, "Oh, did you see it? No, well, I'll spoil it anyway."
Don't be reading those comments.
Yeah. So 7.5. We both recommend that it's a good watch. It won't blow your mind. Don't go in with like, "Oh, this is gonna be one of the best shows of all time." But
there's a lot of hype. It doesn't quite live up to the hype, but that's kind of impossible.
Never believe the hype, but
unless it's the Dark Knight hype.
Yeah, never believe the hype. Just believe Tay and Talk.
That should be our tagline.
Yeah, that's our new line.
That's
actually copyrighted.
Yeah.
Never believe the hype. Just believe Tay and Talk.
Or just believe us.
Just believe us. Oh yeah.
Drop the us.
Yeah. That's kind of pretentious, though. As if we're the be-all, end-all on movie opinions.
Wait, we are, though.
Oh, yeah. Good point. All right, so go and see it. And, well, I think we might want to wrap it up. It's been about an hour here, so thanks for watching our live stream or watching it later on. I'm Tay.
And I'm Nin.
All right, we'll see you next week, 7:30 Eastern. Goodbye.
Bye.